Hello again. Today we have a problem related to relationships and smoking. This problem is from a 19-year-old female. I'm going to read it word for word. My boyfriend smokes and I do not like it. We get quarrels in this way too much and he says it's his own interest and I shouldn't worry about it. Is it something bad on my side to stop his interest? So before I get to the answer, I must tell you that I received this problem through a form which has been shared in the comments below. If you want me to make videos on your problems, please fill that form and share your issues. Now let's come to the problem at hand. I like to do principled thinking, meaning that there are certain principles that we need to consider before making any decision. And the answer usually comes from a mix of those principles and just a balance on those principles. So let's begin. So the first point I'll tell you is, yes, he is an adult and he has the right to choose whether he wants to smoke or not. And at the same time, you are also an adult and you have the right to choose whether you want to be or not to be with somebody who smokes. The next point I want to make here is that I agree that smoking is not a good choice. And as I always say, I decide good and bad on the basis of consequences, not my personal preferences. And right now it's undisputed knowledge from medical science that smoking is bad for your health. So the principle was, as long as you're not hurting yourself or other people, whatever you do is pretty much fine. And when it comes to smoking, of course you are hurting your own health and actually health of people who are in your surroundings when you're smoking by secondhand smoke. So yes, smoking is a bad choice. However, this does not entitle you to any moral superiority over others. Please understand the difference. People are allowed to make their own set of mistakes. Just because you're not making this mistake doesn't mean you're not making any. So we all make mistakes in life. We all do things that to some degree harm ourselves or other people. Nobody is perfect. This is why even though your boyfriend is making a bad choice of smoking, you cannot claim moral superiority over him. Ultimately, why is smoking bad? Because it's bad for your health. And if you look around, you'll find plenty of people who are making bad choices for their health, like not exercising, eating too much junk food, not taking care of their sleep, smoking, too much drinking, not moderate, too much drinking, etc., etc. So your boyfriend is not that unique in that fashion. He's not uniquely wrong. He's just another normal human being making some bad choices. So I would say technically your position of not smoking is actually better one, is actually more reasonable, but it doesn't entitle you to moral superiority. But still, as an adult, you do have the right to stand for your own position, which I'll discuss now. So the first possible path for you is the paradox of communication based on acceptance. What does this mean? It means that since you have chosen to be with him, you have to accept him unconditionally. However, you can still continue to communicate with him, negotiate with him. So this is a paradox because even though you have accepted him, you're still trying for some change. Here I must tell you that your communication must be constructive. Constructive means that you do it in a good environment and you don't attack him as a person. You make sure that you talk in a manner that's actually helpful for the situation, not just venting out your anger or frustration at him. And acceptance means that you be prepared to fail, meaning you be prepared to accept him even if he doesn't quit smoking, which he probably won't. Just because it's okay to communicate with him doesn't mean it's okay to keep pushing, nagging, or forcing him. Remember, you are not an authority on him, you are an equal partner. So you can say your part constructively and back off and accept him. The second possible path is you can give him an ultimatum that either you choose me or smoking. Either you leave smoking or I leave you. Now this is of course an extreme choice, but if smoking, or let's say if not smoking, is so important to you, then it would also be a valid choice. Here you need to be thinking long term, that things may get serious with the boyfriend, you may end up marrying him, and then you'll have a family life with him in which there will be smoking. You have the choice to not accept that. You have the choice to have a different family life. This is why this kind of ultimatum is usually best given before you start dating, before you let things get serious. That's why I tell single people that if smoking or any other thing is very, very important to you, next time you meet a potential partner, discuss smoking before you get attached to them. You have to tell them clearly that if you're going to continue smoking, I won't get serious with you. Next, I want to talk about, let's say if you choose to stay with him, how can you make yourself feel better? You can think of it from this angle. Let's say you leave this person, right? And then you find somebody who doesn't smoke. What if they start smoking after a few years? Would you be able to stop them? What if they become addicted to alcohol after a few years? Would you be able to stop them? And more importantly, if they start smoking or drinking, can you just leave them after marriage? Probably not. Another example, let's say you marry somebody who doesn't smoke at all and they get cancer because of some other reason. Would you leave the person? Probably not. So if you're ready to accept your partner's cancer because of something else, you can also accept your partner's cancer because of smoking. Ultimately, it's about the consequences that you are fearing inside, right? So what I'm trying to tell you here is that those consequences can come from other paths as well. Like you could be thinking that because of him, what if my future children start smoking? Well, your future children can start smoking just by observing their friends. So that problem can come from any angle. The core idea here is that you can try to control your partner or things in your life as much as you want, but you can only control so much. Ultimately, people are out of your control. They can behave in erratic ways. So you anyway need to accept a lot. Maybe you can include smoking as well. Next point I want to make here is that there is hope. I'm guessing your boyfriend is still very young. So you're 19, your boyfriend is probably in the range of 19 to 23. Many teenagers or young people start smoking just to try it, sometimes to belong in a group, sometimes just to look cool or for any other reason. But fortunately, as time passes, most people start to hate their own smoking. Because now everywhere the message is very clear, it's not good for you. In my own life, I've seen that so many of my friends who really enjoyed smoking earlier in their 20s, by their late 20s, they were just sick of it. Like they had already tried multiple times to quit it, but they couldn't. That's another story, but they were at least trying. They had the intention to quit, and many of them were successful as well. Right now, your boyfriend might not even have the intention to quit. That intention to quit will most probably come in a few years. And then it would be a matter of capability. Will he be able to, even if he wants to? Nobody can predict that, but there's of course hope because many people have done it. What you need to understand is that this journey of enjoying smoking and then hating smoking, your boyfriend will take his own time. You won't be able to rush this. Right now, he could be enjoying it, but with time, he will probably get saturated. He'll also see that other people around him are quitting. He will start to get fed up of comments from you and other people that smoking is bad. And ultimately, he might make up his mind that, yes, I want to quit. I'm giving you this hope because this transition actually happens quite a lot. So there's no reason it won't happen with your boyfriend. Let's keep hoping. Here, I want to tell you my own personal choice as well. So I was always upfront with my expectations related to smoking. Whenever anybody asked me, it could have been a friend or somebody I went out with, what are your expectations for a future wife? I always included non-smoker. It was very clear for me that I will not seriously date anybody who smokes. Now, of course, I can't control if they start smoking after we are seriously dating, but at least I can control that they don't smoke when I'm choosing them to marry. By the way, I must make it clear that it does not mean that people who smoke are bad people. Not at all. I don't look down on anybody. I just don't want to have the element of smoking in the family that I want to have. That's my choice. That's my right. By the way, if somebody who loved smoking rejected me because I didn't smoke, I would completely respect that too. It's their choice. It's their right. So in case this relationship doesn't work out for you, maybe you can use a similar approach next time you date. Thanks for listening. I hope it helped. Bye. These videos can help you to some degree, but if your problems are very serious or painful, you should come to us for counseling. At Shridhar LifeSchool, we specialize in counseling for couples, parents, and children. Yes, the full family. We now have a team of psychologists who can help you and your family live a much better life. Here are some feedbacks from our clients. If you wish to take counseling from us, go to our website page www.shridharlifeschool.com/counsel. Click on this link and fill this application form. We will get back to you soon.